this is kind of exciting. I am talking to Dr. Cecilia Sheng, and I believe you are going to be taking students to Hong Kong. Isn't that correct?
That is absolutely correct.
So tell me about the course and what you'll be doing.
So this course is about child development, and we're going to be using a global perspective to look at how children grow up in different parts of the world. So in this particular program, we're going to be learning more about how culture influences children's development, how parents' practices and values might be a consequence of their cultural practices.
So is there a language requirement? I think in Hong Kong, do they speak Mandarin or Cantonese?
Most people speak Cantonese in Hong Kong.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, but there are actually also people who speak Mandarin as well. So it's, a trilingual society with also English spoken as another language.
So will your students need a language requirement to take this adventure to Hong Kong, or are they fine just knowing English?
They'll be fine just knowing English. And obviously we're going to also be, giving you a little prep on some, little phrases that you can use in Hong Kong, both in Mandarin and also in Cantonese.
Well, so what kinds of things are you going to be doing while you're in Hong Kong with the students?
So obviously this is a study abroad program. So we'll be, giving you the opportunity to take two courses, one with me and the other with Kalina Makowska. Apart from learning in the classroom, there will be a lot of cultural activities. We'll be taking you on a walking tour on Hong Kong Island, where you see a lot of interesting buildings and also historical sites. We're going to also be visiting some local primary schools as well as secondary schools to give you a perspective about how students learn in these very different, culturally different environment compared to the United States.
How many students are you hoping to take?
I'm hoping to take about 14 to 18 students. So that's, the size that we think would be the most ideal.
This is you and your colleague working together, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Great. And what exactly is this course called?
This program is called Child Development, a Global Perspective.
Excellent. So what prerequisites are your students going to need? I think you said that I think you told me before we did this that you were taking grads and undergrads. What kind of prerequisites will they need?
So for undergraduate students, we would like them to have taken some basic psychology courses. And for UCR students, we would require them to actually have taken Psychology 1, Psychology 2, 11, and 12. Those are the four courses that are our prerequisites. For graduate students, as long as myself and Dr. Makowska approve, then grad students are welcome to just join the program.
It sounds really wonderful, and having been to that part of China, I have to say it is really it's an amazing place to go to. I'm curious if students want to know more about the kinds of future career benefits that might come from this particular experience. What might some of those benefits be?
I can name a long list of benefits, but to highlight a few, I would say, being in a cultural environment that's very different from the U.S. Hong Kong is really a vertical city. Like navigating in the city is actually very interesting to a lot of the people in the U.S. or in the West in general. Being able to kind of explore the city on your own and then develop skills to kind of survive in a city where you don't really, or you're not very familiar with.
So I have another question. I think you said this will be summer B, but that you're not quite sure of the opening and closing dates of when you're leaving and when you're coming back. Is there any sort of remote course they'll be doing beforehand, or will you just be leaving straight for Hong Kong?
So this is something that we're still working on. So we'll have more information very soon. And, for the most part, the main, course experience is going to be in Hong Kong. So, I would say we're going to be spending about 4 weeks in Hong Kong. There might be, a day or two of preparation or, a little bit of, an orientation right before we leave for Hong Kong. We're still working on that, with regard to the details, but for the most part, the experience is going to be, based in Hong Kong.
And so if students want to get a hold of you to get more information like cost, timeline, real specifics, getting into the details of what this might be about, and as you put together more of the dates and you know exactly what you're doing, what email should they try to contact you at?
So they can contact me at CCHEUNG, that's C and then my last name, at ucr.edu. That's one way. I also know that there are websites that UCEAP has helped us put together online, and with lots of information. Virtually, any questions that you might have about the program, you should be able to find the answer there.
One thing that I think students might really want to understand too is when you take your psychology training and you take it and put it into a different culture, and you see the way that norms are different and the way people have raised their children is different, and the way people express certain things are different. I think that is, just from a human communications perspective in psychology, a really fascinating thing to put into your toolbox.
It is, yeah. It's also one of the reasons why I'm drawn to, understanding development in diverse cultural contexts, and this opportunity of learning with students in a different context. In this case, Hong Kong is going to be really valuable. It's not something that we can easily do with, the curriculum that we have here in the U.S. Being able to get outside of the United States and really see some actions. We'll be visiting local schools and looking at parenting intervention programs there in Hong Kong. And that's just a very valuable and very rare opportunity, I think.
Yes.
Hugely beneficial. So.
Well, thank you. This is very exciting. I can imagine that quite a few students are going to want to go with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.